Hello and welcome. Today we are going to be talking about and experimenting with heavy mouthpieces. A number of mouthpiece manufacturers have some so-called heavy options to their mouthpiece. For instance, this is a Bach 3C trumpet mouthpiece in its standard shape, and this is a 3C megatone mouthpiece. The inside diameters and dimensions are exactly the same, it's just that the megatone mouthpiece has a bit of extra mass on it, which makes it a little bit heavier. Another example is this. This is a Denniswick 0AL bass trombone mouthpiece, the standard one, and this is a Denniswick 0AL heavy top mouthpiece. Again, the insides of the mouthpiece are exactly the same, but this has a lot more mass to it, so it is fairly substantial to play on. In addition to having different mouthpieces, you can also have things like this, which are a booster. These go over a standard mouthpiece to add some extra mass to it. So the question is going to get asked, why do you have these options available? And the principle behind it relates to transporting energy. So when you play an instrument, you put energy into the instrument in the forms of vibrations and wind and so forth. And whenever energy is converted or transported, you lose some. And so the idea behind heavy mouthpieces like this is that the individual mouthpiece is going to vibrate less, and so more of the energy that you put into your mouthpiece is sent through to the instrument and ultimately comes out as sound. So the idea behind it is that it's more efficient, it should be easier to make sounds on and so forth. Whether or not that is true is going to depend entirely on the player. Some people might notice a world of difference, other people are going to be like, nah, I don't really see the point. However, today what we're going to experiment on is not necessarily what the player feels, but whether you as a listener can tell the difference. So I just happen to have a Denniswick 0AL standard mouthpiece, a Denniswick 0AL heavy top mouthpiece, and a Denniswick booster. And so what I'm going to do is, using a bass trombone, play just a couple of notes with the standard mouthpiece with the booster on it, and with the heavy top version of the same mouthpiece. And I'd like to hear in the comments below whether any of you notice a difference in the sound that is produced. This mouthpiece, the 0AL heavy top mouthpiece, is actually a little bit special to me because this is the first mouthpiece I ever bought. Or at least certainly the very first mouthpiece that I ever bought new. And I've had this with me for about a dozen years or so, so it's a little bit special to me. In fact, I've worn through it once. I actually had to get it replated because I wore through the original silver plating. So that's just a bit of trivia for you. Having completed playing those couple of notes on those three different styles of mouthpieces, I'd be very interested to hear your opinion as to whether you can tell the difference in terms of the sound that is created. My personal preference is either for the single unit heavy top mouthpiece or the standard mouthpiece with the booster on it. I find when I take the booster off, the notes just suddenly get a little bit less certain to play, but your mileage may vary. So thank you very much for watching and have a great day.